Guys, we need to talk. Just because we all have access to ChatGPT and AI doesn't mean that we should always be using ChatGPT and AI in our businesses, especially in our social media advertising. Why is it that I am constantly seeing the exact same artwork but in different colors, promoting different items? It's not accessible. It does not give your business any individuality, and it's honestly ugly. And when I say ugly, I need you to understand that in the grand scheme of things, I am not just talking about the aesthetic, I am speaking about the way how this information is going to appear to your customers, right? So, before we get started, hi, my name is Tiffany Sydney. I am a graphic designer, web designer, photographer, a illustrator, a social media manager, and I also provide printing services to my clients. Now, the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because I've personally been seeing an uptick in the exact same style of artwork everywhere. I was recently looking for a transportation company. I saw a AI generated ad with the services, and the way how that ad was generated, it was blurry. It was not easy for me to read. The grain, the images used in the artwork itself were off. Everything about it screamed AI. But what I've noticed is that I keep getting coming across a bunch of other companies, be it schools, people that host races. I've seen it in clothing stores. I've seen it in a popular merch store down here locally, and it's getting to a point where we need to have a conversation. Where does it end? And also, as a business owner, do you care about your brand and how it appears? Because when your customer comes across these ads, they do not just see your brand. They just see the same AI generated artwork everywhere. And now they're going to be confused as to where they even saw that picture from, right? For example, when I was looking for a phone, I saw that there were several companies with the same style of artwork, AI generated, to the point where I do not know any of these companies' names. And I just took screenshots because it did not make sense. I could not remember because there was nothing unique about them. It was the exact same artwork, the exact same style, the exact same font, the exact same green, the exact same colors sometimes. And it has gotten to a point where it's too much. We are losing the plot and we are losing the purpose of branding, which is your individuality. There are several tech stores in Trinidad and Tobago. There are several clothing stores. What makes your brand unique and what makes you stand out, especially on social media, is going to be how you present yourself online. It means that your colors, your tone of voice, where you're writing or speaking, everything like that is going to compile together and that will create your brand. There's a specific tech store that I use that I know it's them just based on the artwork alone. You can send me a screenshot of something you've seen on their Instagram, and I will know because they use the exact same shade of blue. They always use the exact placement when they put their stuff on sale. I know that that is that store. That is not an AI generated artwork, but it's also an artwork where they understand that their brand is going to be easier to recognize if they are consistent with the use of color, fonts, etc., etc. I say all that to say this. I need us to stop. We need to stop. Like, just you need to stop using this AI to constantly generate your artworks. It's not accessible. As much as you think it is accessible, a lot of the times it's hard to read. The grain is annoying to see. People will actually just skip past it most time because they don't like how it looks, and because they know that it's AI generated. There's nothing memorable about the artwork. It will not stay in your customers' minds, and therefore you're gonna have to answer a lot of questions over and over again, even though you will say, "Oh, we put it in the artwork, but your artwork is not legible. The words are off. Some of the words are off. Some of the words are blurry. I can't see that. So I'm going to have to ask you, hey, what do you have again? Hey, what do you have again? And you're gonna have it in this artwork, but you're gonna realize that your customers are still gonna ask you the same questions over and over again because the artwork is not accessible. And it goes back to two things. Something that my mentor mentioned, shout out to Cassia Marina, and it's an important question that I want you all to ask yourself. It is, what is your intention when you are making this artwork? Like, what is the goal of this artwork in particular? What is the goal of this flyer? All right, that is number one. And number two is graphic design. It's not meant to, the main goal is not prettiness. It's not to just be aesthetically pleasing. It's not to be pretty and ooh, colors, lights, flashing, bright. No, it is a mixture of catching the customer's eye, yes, with the colors and fonts, but also in presentation, we need to think about how this information is going to relate to the client. How is that client going to read that information? That is where the formatting comes in. Are they going to read? Most people read from on top to below, right? You read up, down, right? That is the English way of reading. We read from up to down. That's the hierarchy. So we're going to have to make sure that the important information is labeled out in such a way that the clients remember it. The colors, we need to make sure that the colors are the same colors that you're going to consistently use over your brand, so that way that person can tell even without the logo, hey, that is so and so. Hey, that is Nike. Hey, that is Adidas. That is the purpose of graphic design. You need to be able to relate this information, relate and capture this information and give it out to your customers and have them be able to recognize and remember things that you've put on that flyer, right? So again, I need you all as business owners to sit down and have a thought to yourself. And I understand, that sometimes you guys are going to say, oh, well, it's just easier to do it with AI. Oh, I can't design. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It will take some time to honestly get the hang of how things work, but you it's way better if you just did it yourself versus giving it to the AI, or giving it to the AI and just taking the first generation that you see, because it's not going to be something that your customers are going to want. It's not going to be something that's going to stick in your customers' minds, and it's not going to be something that is going to help your brand in the future. So yeah, that was it. I really just needed to come on here and have this rant type discussion with you guys, because it's getting to a point where it's excessive, and I really need us to stop and think about what exactly we want our brands to do before we make artwork and just generate artwork and throw it out there. And also, I need you to think about your own individuality as a brand before you post out there. Because if there are 5 people just like you and everybody's doing the exact same thing, what's going to make you stand out? What is going to make you stand out? So I need you to sit down and have a discussion with yourself about that. What do you think is going to make your brand stand out in the sea of all of this sameness and lack of individuality?